The modern reproduction of art, such as photography, alter the original meaning of artworks by removing them from their original environment. Now, meanings are based on perspectives. Art has lost its authority, and its value is now based on its market value, and we have a language of images. Berger also talks about how women have been represented in nudes through paintings and photography in order to be looked at as objects, usually by a male audience. Therefore, they become a site rather than an individual. This relationship of object and spectator has been instilled in women through history, and it's noticeable in modern world. Additionally, in chapter 7, the author argues that publicity follows the language of European paintings in order to sell the past to the future. It proposes to the buyer transformations that are enviable through the dissatisfaction of their present. So the power to spend money is the power to live. Art is used in publicity to confer authority, luxury, and cultural value.
Like in Foucault's idea, the institution, through the common assumption, produce certain kinds of truth and interpretations of the visual text. The elite try to implement preferred readings and use the artworks to legitimize the dominant ideology. They mystify the originals. However, the author himself is not a textual determinist. He thinks that thanks to reproduction, the meanings can change according to context, time, and place. Similarly to Laura Mulvey's film Watcher, the spectator owner is assumed to be a male enjoying the active position of looking at the female passive character. Thanks to conventions, paintings fulfill the desire for scopophilia and to a lesser extent narcissistic desire when there is another male character. In publicity, the spectator buyer narcissistically identifies their future self with the character advertised, supposed to be more complete with this or that products, and so as are eventless. They allow escapism, as Wood, the Frankfurt School says, and so they play on Lazarsfeld and Merton's canalizations. They all use the same codes and advertise the same products and reinforce each other.
I will use the example of the Mona Lisa to analyze this. Leonardo da Vinci's choices reflect his way of seeing the world. People's interpretations of what the Mona Lisa expresses depends on their cultural, historical, or personal context when they see the picture. Seeing the real version in the Louvre will give a very different reaction than seeing just a picture on the internet. The reproductions like posters and coffee mugs, for example, or memes, strip the Mona Lisa of its original context as a painting in the Louvre, and recreations embody the creators of those recreations' ways of seeing instead of Leonardo da Vinci's. So each new context makes her meaning very different. For instance, Marcel Duchamp's version of the Mona Lisa, where he drew a mustache on her, transformed Da Vinci's work into more of a contemporary view on art and gender. Modern reproductions shift the power of the original image, so it's not unique anymore to just have the Mona Lisa, because there's so many different versions. All these reproductions shift our ways of seeing even an iconic work like the Mona Lisa.
Now let's see how we can relate this text to a current issue in the world. So we can connect the male gaze and female objectification in art history to social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Of influencers who deserve money through their content, around 77% is female. These influencers create their online personas in a way that gains attention, and this attention is in the form of likes, followers, and comments. So these women are both the surveyed and the surveyors of themselves, since they at all time think about how people look at them in order to get more interaction. As Berger mentions in his text, women watch themselves being looked at. This was true in art history, but still persists today. The way an influencer appeared is curated for the spectator's gaze. However, something that has changed is the way that the spectator is said to be male. Overall, the majority of influencers' followers are female. So it's not necessarily the male gaze that the influencer has to adapt to anymore. It is the gaze of the influencer's overall followers that is more important.